Welcome, everyone, to Lunch with LeAnn. Today is December 1st, 2021. Happy December, everyone. And if this is your first time joining Lunch with LeAnn, it is a weekly program hosted by LINC, a Center for Independent Living in Southwest Idaho. Our guests on Lunch with LeAnn join us every Wednesday for some fun conversation around lunch, around access and independent living, and also to share with you some important resources that might help you or someone you know in living the life of your choosing. And we do all of this in the first 15 to 20 minutes of your lunch break. Today, you guys, we have a treat for you. I am so excited. Last week, we launched our LINC Legends series, and today we have Todd Wilder, LINC Legend, in person here to talk to us a little bit about his time at LINC and also give you some information about his next great adventure in life. So Todd, thank you so much for joining us again here on Lunch with LeAnn. We're excited to have you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, a quick programming note. Please know that Lunch with LeAnn is filmed live, and the conversations we talk about have a wide range of topics, some of which might be sensitive for some viewers. And we ask that you listen responsibly and know that guests on Lunch with LeAnn are here to represent resources and information for our community and may or may not represent LINC's official organizational position on topics. We also want to welcome back Sierra, our American Sign Language interpreter. And I will also note that these interviews are available on YouTube on our LINC Idaho TV channel with corrected captioning shortly after the program, thanks to Jen Grushdale, who's my co-host today.
Welcome, everybody.
We had to have two of us to talk to Todd. We just did. So Todd, thanks for joining us today. We're so glad to have you. First and foremost, what leftovers are you having for lunch today, sir?
How did you know I was having leftovers? No,
I've worked with you for a while.
Well, I've got an old, well, not that old, but it's a veggie tray that was from Thanksgiving that I've been digging into because I just couldn't wait. And then I've got some leftover Little Caesars stuffed crust pepperoni pizza waiting for me in the fridge.
Ooh. All right, Todd, here's a very important pizza question, leftover pizza question I have for you.
Shoot.
Cold or hot?
Cold.
Really?
I don't reheat pizza, no.
And what is your position on why you do not reheat pizza, Todd Wilder?
It's just not the same quality. You can't get it back to the way it was. I mean, not really. So I don't even bother trying. I mean, the microwave, forget about it. Sometimes if you put it in the oven to reheat it, it comes out okay. But, you know, I'm too lazy and...
Yeah, well, when you're... Well, guys, it sounds like Todd's having some technical sound issues about it will...
Last night. I'll have it.
All right, guys, it looks like Todd's having some audio issues, but it's caught back up. So I'm confident we're going to be able to connect with Todd here in a second. So, Jen, what are you having for lunch while Todd's working on his microphone?
I am having my Nature's Bakery fig bar in strawberry. Normally, this is my breakfast, but breakfast and lunch are kind of bleeding into each other right now.
It happens. It's called brunch.
Yes.
Another great meal of the day. Another great meal. Well, you know, I just think I was safe, Todd, in assuming you were having leftovers because I, too, you know, it's the week after Thanksgiving. So, you know, a few 4 days. So I still got some leftovers left. What's that, Todd? Oh, guys, this is a fun interview. All right. So my lunch here, I'm having, of course, I have to give my partner kudos for this because he brought ground turkey home and then used our turkey from my mother's-in-law, amazingly moist turkey from Thanksgiving Day, and made this incredible inside for our tacos. So it's a turkey taco, and I have some nice little sauces here that I'm going to enjoy. And then I have my little grapes. And this is just the sampling because I'm hungry, so I'm probably going to have 2 of these and like 10 times more of these grapes. I'm just going to say. Not playing. So, Todd, how are we doing on your audio? Thank you. Thank you, Todd. Your audio seems to go back here. If we lose audio again, I think Todd will probably turn off. You may lose his face for a while, but you'll hear all of his great things really well. Jen, you're co-hosting today.
Yep.
And I think you're co-hosting for a reason. What is that reason?
Well, I think I am the first person Todd spoke with when we had a job opening back in 2005, because back then I was the front desk receptionist and I answered the phone a lot. And Todd called looking for a job and wondered about qualifications.
That's right. Yes. It was an ad in the Idaho Statesman. LINC, the local Center for Independent Living, is hiring 4 positions. And the one that stood out to me was disability advocate. Because in a recent job that I had, I was told that I was becoming a really good advocate for people with disabilities. I never really heard that before, but it was a real short time later, I saw the ad in the paper and thought, well, that's me. So I called LINC. I spoke with Jen.
Todd, if we can have you, it looks like we're having some audio issues again. If you wouldn't mind.
Because I listened with 15 years worth. Jen said, I encourage you to apply. I'm stopping my video.
Okay.
Let's try this.
Oh, that's better, Todd. We're sad we don't get to see your smile, but we heard that you called Jen.
What I said before?
Some of it.
Okay. So I'll back up. It was an ad in the Statesman saying LINC, the Center for Independent Living in Boise, is hiring for 4 different positions. One of them was disability advocate. And I had been told at a recent job that I was becoming a good advocate for people with disabilities. And so when I saw that ad, I thought, well, that's obviously me. So I called and spoke with Jen, and I told her that I didn't have any college experience, but I had like over 10 years of experience working with people with disabilities. She said, well, I encourage you to apply. And so, of course, I applied, and 3 short months later, I was hired. I knew this was the job for me, though, and luckily, I had some money saved up. I did not have to work right away, and so I just waited. I just waited for that call, and it came in March after my interview in December of 2004, actually. So yeah, I was ready to go to work when Roger called me.
Oh, that's great. And Todd, I have a fond memory of you as well from my first day at work. And I know I've shared this with you, but you know, you've been with LINC since 2005. And from my first day at work, I often remember how welcoming you were and how, how I felt really welcome not only into LINC, but into this new independent living movement and philosophy that I had found myself surrounded by. And your job as a disability advocate in 2005 probably looked a little bit differently than it does as an IL or independent living specialist in 2021. Would you mind telling us a little bit about your LINC journey?
Sure, yeah. Well, I was hired, of course, as the disability advocate. And so really my only responsibility was to work with people with disabilities on a long-term basis, people that didn't just need information and referral services. So anybody that calls in that has needs that can't be met with just a phone call or a meeting or two would be sent to one of the 3 disability advocates that we had in the Boise office at that time. So we had a lot of consumers, and so we split them all, I think, fairly evenly. And sometimes one of the other advocates would hand somebody over to me if they thought I might be a more appropriate person for them to work with, someone they might get along with a little better, or, the other advocates were female. And so I think they had a few people that wanted to work with a male instead. And so I got handed those folks. And I actually still am in touch with some of these people from my early days at LINC.
And your job has grown to do a lot of really amazing ramp work that I know back in 2005 wasn't a part of LINC's services or programs. And
yes,
and that recent.
Yes, that's right. We had a grant back in the early days. It was around the time I started, or maybe a little after the time I started. Mm-hmm. We got a 3-year grant to partner with the Idaho Assistive Technology Project. And so we actually hired a person to do that work. Sometimes I would help out a little bit with heavy equipment. But once the grant ran out, we were still able to continue that position for a while, but there were some budgeting issues. And so we no longer had a designated person to handle assistive technology. And so I took that over. And once we had the money in the budget to hire a full-time AT person, or part-time, I'm sorry, AT person, then I continued doing ramps, evaluations and setups for people, because that would have been a bit much for our part-time person to handle, as well as the assistive technology. So that's, I guess, a big thing that changed over my time with LINC is starting to work with ramps, which became my favorite thing to do for LINC.
I love that, Todd. I love that. And we're wrapping up here with some time, but I don't know if everyone knows this, Todd. We're doing a LINC Legends series, and your last day at LINC is Friday. And you're going off to do another adventure.
Yes, that's right.
Would you mind sharing with us some of that?
Yes, I'll be relocating to Salem, Oregon. And because my work at LINC has gotten pretty complicated over the years. I mean, it always has been, but it's getting more complicated, with new projects that we're taking on, like benefits counseling. It's gotten to be a bit too much, I think, for me. And so what I'd like to do is simplify. So I think I'm going to go back to the first work I did with people with disabilities, and work with people with developmental disabilities in a group home, or possibly their own home. Or, I've also considered becoming a job coach as well, but I definitely want to continue working with people with disabilities and helping them to be more independent. I realized recently, though, that there is no Center for Independent Living in Salem. There's several centers around the state of Oregon, but not in Salem. So I don't know, I might have to talk to somebody about that and see what we can get going.
Oh, Dad. I just wonder what Center for Independent Living is in that area, and I can't wait for you to move there and see what's happening, because that I'm certain that Salem has people with disabilities that would benefit from a Center for Independent Living.
Absolutely, yes. It's Marion County, and according to ILRU's website, there is no center that serves Marion County, and it's like a 400,000 people metro area. So
wow,
I might try to see if something can be done about this.
Well, you guys. Well, Todd, I can't wait for your next adventure. I was excited for you before, and now with this new information you just shared, fresh off the presses with Lunch with LeAnn, can't wait for Eastern Oregon or Western Oregon. You're moving Western Oregon. Salem.
Yep.
The capital of Oregon.
That's right. So why isn't there a dang Center for Independent Living there?
Well, I think you'll find out, Todd. We do want folks to feel free to email Todd at twilder. So that's TWILDER at LINC Idaho, spelled out.org, between now and Friday, and just wish him well wishes if you'd like on his next adventure. And we will be following the news in Salem about this Center for Independent Living update. Todd, do you have any final words for our viewers before we sign off on Lunch with LeAnn?
Well, I'll turn my screen off so you guys can maybe hear me. I just wanted to say that I've had a lot of jobs in my life, and LINC is the best one I've ever had. All things considered, LINC is the best one. You know, it's provided me many opportunities for growth and travel, and, you know, especially to Washington, D.C. for the conference on for the National Council on Independent Living. I have been fortunate enough to go there 3 times. And people, I got to tell you, there is nothing like experiencing the independent living movement live and in person. Because when you say independent living or IL movement, it's kind of a nebulous concept. It's really abstract, but you go to the Nickel conference in DC and there it is. You are in the middle of it. And that has been a life-changing experience.
Todd, those were great final words. Jen, do you have anything before we sign off?
Todd, we're gonna miss you.
I'll miss you guys too, but I'll be in touch.
You better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Todd, I will say I appreciate what you have done for me since day one at LINC, and I appreciate what you're going to do for our disability community that we're all a part of, that we all strive to lift each other up. You have lifted me up personally and professionally. I have grown and learned so much from you. As I speak on behalf of all of us at LINC, that we are honored that you are a LINC legend, and I am excited to see what the world has for you in your next great adventure and what you have for the world. You are a gift, and we appreciate you, Mr. Wilder, for all the things you brought to us here, and we look forward to staying in touch and seeing where you go next.
Well, that's wonderful to hear, and I appreciate it very much.
Absolutely. I'm gonna try not to cry on Lunch with LeAnn, because I have been crying a lot lately over joy and excitement for what's next. So everyone, for now, we would like to sign off with Mr. Wilder and say ciao for now, and we will see you next week. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.